Hi guys, what do Reform UK hope to achieve? Do they really believe that Nigel Farage will make it to number 10? Or is it just about making those in power dance to a right-wing tune? Tim Montgomerie, who was the founder of the influential Conservative home that recently defected to the Farage outfit, was asked about Reform UK's policies. Apart from immigration, what has it going for itself? And his answer was that it would represent a type of politics for people who are upset with the status quo. However, there's a problem with that.
Aside from immigration, what is the attraction to Reform UK? And you're probably in a good position to answer this, Tim, bearing in mind you've been around the Westminster block for many, many years. You know where some of the bodies are buried. You know, you've got some pretty decent. Now, I thought I had a good contacts list, but I think yours is to die for in the realms of MPs, etc.
Well,
so you know the territory, and you're a very astute and trusted journalist. Beyond what is what's at the centre of all of this beyond immigration?
I think it's the fact, and I say this with a lot of regret actually. My former party, the Conservative Party, was rejected soundly at the last general election because it had seemed to have failed. All the things that it said it believed in: home ownership, low tax, control of migration, keeping the streets safe of crime. All the indicators on those things had gone in the wrong direction. And I didn't think Labour would do very well, but I'd generally be surprised at how quickly they've failed, how catastrophically they've failed. The economy going in the wrong direction, immigration going up, seemingly, the way the pensioners have been treated. I don't need to spell it out for your viewers and listeners, Ian. And in that moment, I think people are seeing the wheels come off the policies of the two main parties, and they're wanting an alternative. And you're right, it can't just be immigration. Reform have to use the time they have over the next 2 or 3 years to develop policies where the wheels won't come off.
Yeah.
People are going to be incredibly suspicious and cynical about politics now because they've been let down by the two mainstream parties. And Reform really has a big opportunity, but the responsibility it has is bigger actually, because if it comes forward with just, ill thought out policies and adds to the sense of cynicism towards politics, British democracy is in real trouble. So I want to play my small part in helping Reform be a credible party, not just offering simple solutions.
And was that?
See, a big problem with all of this is that Reform UK's goals, and I've mentioned before, is to cut taxes for the rich, to funnel more money into the pockets of big business. They're not interested in ordinary people. They're interested in making sure that the rich are better off. That's what they exist to do. And Farage is somebody who would benefit from that, and he's surrounding himself with people who would benefit from that as well. Look at what's happening in the US at the moment. Donald Trump sold people a lie. He said he would bring down food prices, he would make people better off, and now what is he doing? He's enriching the richest people in society in the US. He's filled his cabinet with billionaires. It's not about draining the swamp or improving the lives of ordinary people. It's about cutting taxes for the rich and funneling more money into the private sector. And that's exactly what Farage would do if he was in power. It's not about ordinary people. He's demonstrated on a number of occasions that he doesn't care about ordinary people. He convinced them to vote against their own interests. He doesn't even represent his constituents in Clacton. He's more interested in himself. So why anyone would think that he would suddenly turn around and care about the British people if he was in power is for the birds. Now, what do Reform want to achieve in the medium term or in the short term? I believe it's about influencing politics. It's not actually about getting Nigel Farage into number 10. He doesn't have to be in number 10 in order to influence the government of the day. It's about pushing them further to the right. He was successful when it came to the Conservative Party, about convincing the Conservative Party to go down a very dark road. And when it comes to the Labour Party, I presume the approach will be the same. Win a significant number of seats, present yourself as the official opposition, and then argue for positions that benefit the richest in society. I covered this before, where commentators, pro-Reform UK commentators, were talking about, before the budget, They're talking about, what they're going to do is do something about inheritance tax. And we know that inheritance tax is generally paid by the richest in society. They're focusing on capital gains tax. Once again, something that the richest in society pay more than anyone else. The focus will always be about selling something to the poor, like immigration. We need to bring down immigration. That's the priority of the British people, while at the same time focusing on economic policies that benefit not ordinary people, but the richest. So I think that will be the goal in the medium term. I don't think they honestly believe they can get Nigel Farage into number 10, because they would have to move the party to the centre. And this would alienate their voter base. People who want to bring down immigration down to zero, people who don't care about the NHS and would happy to see it sold off, privatised. Those people are the core voter bloc for Reform UK at the moment. If you want to expand beyond that, you have to move to the centre. And that's going to alienate a lot of their voters. So I think, at least in the short and medium term, the focus will be on, let's move the government to the right on economic policies, because that benefits the people who truly back Reform UK. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.